All right, for any e-commerce brand that's trying to grow, there's one relationship that can either be your rocket fuel or your biggest nightmare. And that's your third-party logistics provider, your 3PL. Today, we're going to dig into how you can turn that relationship from just another transaction into a true partnership and make it your secret weapon.
Okay, just picture this for a second. It is the absolute peak of your biggest sale of the year. The promos you've been planning for months are live, your phone is just blowing up with sales notifications, and the orders are coming in so fast, your charts are basically vertical. I mean, this is the dream, right?
But, behind all that excitement, there's that little nagging question in the back of your mind. With this massive wave of orders, is your fulfillment actually keeping up? Are your customers getting the right stuff on time? Because this is that exact moment where the dream can become a total nightmare.
Now, when things go wrong, our first instinct is to blame the warehouse, right? Not enough people, messy processes, whatever. But here's the thing. The real problem almost never starts on the warehouse floor. It usually starts way earlier, and it's something much, much simpler, a breakdown in communication.
So, let's break that down. What does that communication breakdown actually look like? And what kind of damage can it really do to your business?
Well, when communication with your 3PL is fuzzy or late, it sets off this domino effect. All of a sudden, you've got shipping delays because they just weren't ready for that sales spike. Then order errors start piling up because some special instruction got lost in an email chain. And all of that leads directly to angry customers and a damaged reputation that, let's be honest, can take years to fix.
The only way to really fix this is with a pretty big shift in how you think about this whole thing. You've got to stop seeing your logistics provider as just another vendor you pay.
Think about it from your customer's point of view for a second. For most online brands, that moment a package shows up at their door is one of the only physical interactions they'll ever have with you. The condition of the box, if the order's right, how fast it got there, your 3PL is managing that entire critical experience. So in a very real way, they are your brand.
And this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got that old school supplier mindset. Their job is basically storage and delivery, and the whole relationship is just transactional. But on the right, that's where the magic is, the partner mindset. Now, their role is to be a brand representative, and your shared goal is growth. The entire game is about moving from that left column over to the right.
So, how do you actually build that kind of partnership? Let's get into the practical playbook and see what it takes to build a much stronger foundation.
It really boils down to three simple but crucial steps. First, forecast early and often. Give your 3PL a heads up about any big promos or sales spikes. Second, check in consistently. Get regular calls on the calendar just to stay aligned. And third, review the data together. Look at the key metrics, not to point fingers, but to figure out how we can get better, together.
And look, let's be real, things will inevitably go wrong sometimes. But a true partnership mindset completely changes how you deal with those problems. It turns them from a crisis into a chance to actually improve.
When there's some kind of fulfillment disaster, the knee-jerk reaction is to immediately start shopping for a new 3PL. But the much smarter move is to just pause, look at the data, and have a real, honest conversation. The strongest partnerships are built by solving problems together, not by running away from them.
So before you start placing blame, ask yourself these three questions. First, was our forecast maybe a little unclear or late? Second, was there a capacity issue that maybe we could have seen coming? And most importantly, was there a breakdown in our own communication process? More often than you'd think, the solution starts with fixing something on your end. And here is a critical pro tip for you. Never ever try to fix your 3PL relationship in the middle of your peak season. That is just a recipe for disaster. The time to make these big changes is during the quiet months, when the stakes are low and you actually have time to think and plan properly. Okay, so when you start doing all of this, you're not just creating a smoother operation for yourself, you're actually building a real sustainable competitive advantage.
This chart really tells the whole story. As you can see, when you have strong communication, those errors and delays just plummet. And what happens as a direct result of that? Customer happiness goes through the roof. It's a simple, powerful correlation that has a massive impact on your bottom line. At the end of the day, this whole partnership approach is what creates a supply chain that's truly resilient. It gives you clearer visibility into everything, it slashes your operational risk, and, most importantly, it creates fiercely loyal customers who become your biggest fans. And that is the real engine for long-term, sustainable growth.
So here's the bottom line. In today's crowded e-commerce world, you simply can't afford to leave your fulfillment to chance. A world-class customer experience is not an accident. It's designed and it's built on a foundation of clear, consistent, and collaborative communication.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. Take a hard look at your own logistics operation. Do you have a supplier who just checks boxes? Or do you have a true partner who's actually invested in your growth? The answer to that question might just be the key to unlocking your brand's future.